What's up everyone, this is Kazak here and today I'm back with another Dynasty Warriors Origins video. Recently we got quite a bit of information about things such as the story, the gameplay, and we even got to see more OG characters from previous entries that are going to be returning in this game. There's just a lot of interesting things to unpack here, so let's just start off with some details about the story. Dynasty Warriors Origins starts off with a nameless protagonist. While you can still name yourself in the game, there will be times where he's referred to as Zweilund. I'm sorry if I absolutely end up butchering the name here. I'll probably just edit the name in the video somewhere or whatever, but that's besides the point. As you progress further in the story, you'll eventually be able to side with either Liu Bei, Cao Cao, or Su Jian, and depending on who you join forces with, it will have an impact on the ending that you will get. Origins covers the events from the Yellow Turban Rebellion all the way to the Battle of Chur-B. Now, if you're a Dynasty Warriors veteran, this may seem odd that they would stop at this particular point in the narrative when other games cover events way past this. However, here's what's important to know here. Unlike in past games, Dynasty Warriors Origins is putting a heavy focus towards establishing the characters and the world surrounding them, which means that the game has time to focus on these earlier events and flesh them out properly this time. Where in most games, this part of the story is only briefly touched on, and there wasn't much room to explore anything else about it. The game is focusing on the three kingdoms before they eventually split and make their own true factions. So while we won't see other battles that happens after Chur-B, this also means we have a more story-rich narrative that focuses on the events prior to the three kingdom conflicts, which is not only refreshing to see as a veteran myself, but easier for new players to digest and enjoy as well. Now that we have covered the story, let's talk about the gameplay, because oh man, it looks incredible. Obviously, we'll be playing the main protagonist who can switch through different weapons, such as swords, spears, gauntlets, and even staves. You can also choose to have a companion with you, where we can choose the iconic officers that we all know and love, such as Guan Yu, Xiao Hudun, Zhao Yun, and a couple of others that we can also play with. With that said, Origins is obviously not going to bolster a large roster of characters like in the main titles, meaning that some fan favorites will not be included in the game, which is unfortunate, but I believe this sacrifice is justified considering that this isn't a mainline entry. Now, this is just my own personal speculation, but what the game is really doing here is that it's trying to establish a formula that, if proven to be successful, could potentially be used as the blueprint for Dynasty Warriors 10. So because they want to focus on building up this new formula, adding in a bunch of characters would just get in the way of what they're trying to achieve here with the gameplay. However, if this game is a hit and does very well, we can expect this style of gameplay to be adapted into Dynasty Warriors 10, where we will obviously have a larger roster of characters. But for right now, they're focusing on the quality rather than the quantity, which is good because this means we'll be getting an entry that actually feels fun and refreshing to play. However, they better make my boy Lu Bu playable in this game, okay? I want to be the broken badass himself, slaughtering countless of soldiers alongside my red hair. Sorry, I got a little carried away there, okay? I'm sorry, I apologize. Now, let's get a little bit more in depth about the gameplay. So you have this little world map where you can go into cities to buy and sell weapons, and visit the inn where you can potentially interact with different officers. You'll also find materials which can be used to craft new weapons and travel to a bunch of different battlefields. Now, once you engage in combat, you'll obviously be able to destroy a bunch of enemies with a variety of combos, cool looking Muso specials, and all that good stuff. However, there's a bigger emphasis on strategy where you can send commands to your army to break through gates or launch attacks at the enemy army from a distance. So while you are still doing the heavy lifting, your army actually has a role to play this time, where if there's a large swarm of enemy forces, you can use them to combat those enemies when it's too overwhelming, or have them focus on another group of enemies elsewhere. But the opposing forces will also retaliate with their own tactics as well. This makes battles feel not only more flashy, but it gets you more immersed into the action, where it truly does feel like as if you're actually on this big old battlefield fighting through an actual war. Duels also make a return from Dynasty Warriors 4, where you have a one-on-one match with the enemy officer and have to beat them within the time limit. When it comes to the gameplay, it all sounds and looks amazing. I can't express just how much this raises my hype for the game. Speaking of which, the game will be releasing next year on January 17th, 2025. And you already know that I'm pre-ordering and playing this game day one. Honestly, it just feels so good to actually be excited for Dynasty Warriors again. I haven't really felt that way since Dynasty Warriors 8 years ago. This game is just going to be a very, very important entry point for the entire series, where it's making a lot of changes and sacrifices, but once again, as long as it's in service for pushing the series to evolve, then, you know, I'm all for it. The franchise needs something like Origins to reinvigorate the interest for Dynasty Warriors, and I definitely look forward to seeing more of this game. Hopefully we'll get a demo sometime later down the line, but let me know what you guys think about Dynasty Warriors Origins in the comments section below. I'll be covering more about the game in the future as we learn more information about it. But until then, this was Kazak, and I'll see you guys on the next video.